What's up, guys? Phils Jackson here, aka Big Short Billups on Blue Sky. If anybody is checking out Blue Sky, I've been testing the waters a bit. It's not bad. There's some traders on there. It's pretty new and small, but interesting. Otherwise, you can find us at Premium FTS on X, at Phils Jackson. And go ahead and give us a follow, hit the like button, give us a subscribe. I should be saying all this at the end. It's been a minute since I've seen everyone. Been working a lot, but man, crypto exploded. I'm just going to jump right in. Today was a day for Ripple, XRP specifically. Let's just give it a little bass here. Okay, so I got lucky today. Back in the day, in the dark days of 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, I used to make a killing every year on Ripple. I would say about a third of my income for the year, trading Ripple during alt season. And then with the court case and Gary Gensler and the SEC, all that went down the tubes circa 2021, 22, and it's just been kind of crickets for Ripple until very recently. I've got the chart pulled up here, and it looks like Ripple started taking off around November 8th, looks like on my chart. We got this big push higher and this consolidation. Then we got a second push higher, second leg. And this one came down to the golden 61.8, 62% golden retracement. You see that we got that double bounce. And then it took off, and I just happened to be charting it this morning. I've been adding since August during this whole long consolidation down here, but pretty much hadn't touched it lately. Missed my entries here, was really waiting to see what happened. But this morning I was looking at this consolidation that was occurring, and right around $1.90 I managed to get in. I saw it was consolidating around the 150% Fibonacci extension, and I figured it was either going to go up or go down. Now I'm holding this until next year, 2025, so I'm just trying to add whenever I see a good spot. Not really trying to day trade this or anything like that, but long story short, we had this consolidation on the 1 hour. You can see we tested the top 3 times, 4 times. I got in here expecting it to dip down to the green line 1.8 or possibly do that, and it did not. Instead, about an hour later, the thing went up almost 80%. Pure luck. If you trade long enough, you'll have situations like that from time to time. So I was pretty stoked on that. Let's see, where were we? I'm just gonna reset this because I just moved it. Should have been locked. Okay, and you can see price was consolidating just under the 150% extension. It broke out, hit the 162% extension, and then it went hard all the way up to 250%, where it's still tapping on that door right around 250. So last I recall, this thing went to $3.85 on the last bull run. I'd have to Google and see if that was indeed the highest all-time high, but I'm pretty sure 385 was what we hit in 21 which means we'll hit that and probably triple it, to say the least, by the end of 25. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't follow my suggestions. These are for entertainment only. Don't do any of this, but just talking about how I trade and how I like Ripple, etc. Okay, so there's a lot of room for this to go. When we start getting, extended legs up like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consolidation and breakout. This is an extension of an Elliott wave, which means it could go 1 or 2 more legs up easy. It doesn't mean it will. It can certainly pull back here, and in fact it has pulled back a little bit. But I thought I had this locked. Here we go again. My sense is that this is going to keep running until further notice, right? Make sure that puppy is locked. There we go. Okay, so moving on to the other one I trade a lot, been trading for years, is Phantom. Oh, this is an old. Let's just pull up a different tab on that. Phantom. And I believe this is off of Binance. So on the 2 hour, just see what we have going here for Phantom. I'm going to look at the 8 hour. Okay, so we had this big dip. We've had this this run up that's been happening. This trending move, this trend channel, this upwards trend channel. You can see we're testing the top of it right now. So this was the top. This is the middle, top, middle, bottom. Bottom test, middle test, top test, breakdown back to the middle, back to the top, back to the middle, all the way to the bottom. Kind of faked out like it was going to fall off there. Tested the bottom, tested the middle, and now it's shooting back up to the high. So either we break the high again, or we consolidate here, or we come back down to the middle line. I'm not going to guess, other than if things stay bullish and keep going the way they're going, then yeah, it'll break and take off. I'm sure it will at some point. I think Phantom, the high on Phantom was also around $3.47. That's the previous high. So do I think that this can do more than that? Absolutely. Again, I'm expecting that to triple, if not more, putting us in the range of $9 to $15 by the end of 2025. So looking at what happened today, Phantom has been lagging behind Bitcoin a bit, in the sense that like both Bitcoin and Ripple have taken off. Phantom has been kind of consolidating and climbing slowly. I think it's still being accumulated. So I don't think the big moves for Phantom have actually started yet. And maybe that'll coincide with some sort of news. They've been a little silent. There's been a lot of talk about the Sonic network, but not much has come of that yet. So I feel like they're kind of in a build-up phase, and once they have good news to release, I think this thing will take off again. Okay, so moving forward, let's look at Bitcoin. Kind of a similar slow working its way up. Bitcoin came down to the 162%. It's back testing the 162% extension off the weekly move. So, everyone's looking for 100K. The 200% extension is actually 103.7. And I think it'll probably hit that. Just looking at what's happening right now, though, in the moment, we broke out of the trend channel. We came back and tested it, tested the top, and these arrows are just saying what could happen here. There's been a little bit of sell volume coming in at the top. You can see these volume bars right here. So if we were to break the line, the first target would be the middle median line. Second target would be the bottom. If we were to hold it, then 97.5 would be the next target if this line holds. And if it were to break out, then obviously we'd retest the high, which was now 99.655, was the most recent all-time high. I believe that happened on the 21st, something like that. So Bitcoin's looking really good. Looking good for a continuation, although it is overextended. And, we should note that this is kind of a diagonal wedgie looking, not necessarily bullish in the short term, meaning this could break and retest the bottom real easily, 92 to 94 in my opinion, but that doesn't mean it will. So we're just kind of gonna have to wait and see. This is not an ideal place to position for me. My ideal place to buy Bitcoin was back in August during this big flat consolidation that happened right here. Okay, so looking ahead, I want to look at Ethereum, and I just put some more money on one of my brokerages because I want to start trading the micro Ethereum contracts. And I was looking at this earlier. So we have this horizontal consolidation that happened here. It was retested and broken out, and now it appears to be climbing higher. But again, this is a upwards wedge, so this could break either way. It is in a bull trend right now, so it could break higher. Could also break out and fake out and come back down, test the green line, even go below it. If this is the start of alt season, if this is the start of the run right here, then what we'd most likely see is a test to the downside, followed by a retest and breakout. That's kind of what I'm anticipating here. I didn't really want to see this pattern. Would have much rather seen something kind of coming down like this with decreasing volume, but you notice we got all this sell volume right here at the top of the channel, so it's going to need a lot of buyers to come in. And you can see there's on the 1 hour, there's a lot of sellers, above average sellers, almost equal to the buyers in this area. So a little tough for me to say right now which way this is going to go. It's definitely testing the top, but I'm cautiously bearish at the moment on Ethereum, which doesn't bode well for the rest of the market, at least in the short term. But everything hinges on Bitcoin, so this thing could keep trudging higher and trudging higher. We could get some more big volume spikes. We could get a pullback. Not really sure, and I'm not going to make a specific prediction on that. I'm just saying I'm cautiously bearish here on Ethereum for the short term, but I do think this will take off. I think this will triple. I'm not going to make any price predictions specifically, but this thing is going to take off and run. Let's just say that. Moving ahead, I'm just going to take a quick look at the dollar. Dollar's coming up again. This is bearish for the market and for futures market, for SPX, the S&P. Now this can always turn around, but look at all that buy volume, or I'm sorry, the bullish volume that's come in right here. And this is the dollar index. I forget the ticker on this one. Let's switch this one to DXY. There we go. So there was a big gap that filled right there. There's a gap down here. Appears to be consolidating at this level right around 106.2. So, everything depends on what it does at the open. Could certainly go higher. We could certainly go lower. And interestingly, in the last few days of trading, I've been seeing certain times where the dollar was running and the S&P were running concurrently. Usually they're inverse to each other. So that's been something to watch for. I noticed some other heads on Twitter were commenting on that as well. I don't know if the VIX is actually open and running right now, but it closed at 13. Was really high at 19. Trading was good last Wednesday, or the Wednesday before. I'm going to pop over to the S&P. So this is interesting. We've got the start of a range. We had a big move up on Friday and Thursday. I'm just going to show you the fib on this. You can see price pulled right back to the 50% retracement, and it went back up to the high around 6022. We hit 6041. This is bearish right here, in my opinion. If we lose this, let's say 6012, this will come back down. And unfortunately, we had a big week. If it comes back down, it's likely going to come back down choppy and slow and unpredictable. So this could be a difficult week to trade, or it could be a really fun range trading week. I'm going to have to wait and see how, price is moving. Don't really know until, each day happens. There could be some fun trading. Definitely, I'm going to be looking for range trading opportunities if that breaks, or I'm going to be playing it very cautiously to the upside, which would be 61. 6102 would be the first target if it continues there. So there's definitely room for it to go either direction, but that would be what I'm kind of looking at for right now. Okay, so the futures market is open. Let's just take a look, and you can see it's a very similar range that's forming here. Running the fibs, if it'll let me. There you are. Okay, not sure why this is not working. What is that? Turning that off. Okay, and you can see this almost hit the 62% retracement. Definitely well into the 50%. Came back up to the top. So again, this is not particularly a bullish setup at the moment. It would need to break above 6052, which was the VPOC from yesterday. And you can see it actually hit 6052 and fell off. So it's getting a lot of sell volume on the hourly at the high. So that tells me, there's a good chance that this is a range trading type of setup day. Price could easily come back down to 60.30 and below. On the larger picture, there's quite a lot of room to the downside, all the way back down to 58.62. So we're gonna have to wait and see on that. Now, if it breaks out, it needs to break above 60.60, and then we've got room up to 61, almost 61.40, 61.38, let's say. If we get a continuation move on this, that would be the first extension. So that's what we'll be watching. Let's just take a look at the pivots here. I'm going to zoom in a bit. Okay, now this is interesting. So on this would be Friday. You can see price hit the R1 extension, which is the range extreme, went all the way up here to 60-60, didn't quite hit R2, fell off. New pivot, 60-69 would be the R1, and instead it never made it to R1. So on days when it doesn't make it to R1, it typically, probabilistically, will go back down to S1 if it's in a consolidation. So if we lose this pivot right here at 60-41, there's a good chance that this will test the range down to 60-30, and probably if we get continuation down to 60-24, possibly back down into this blue consolidation area, which is 60-20 to 60-17. So very key for it to hold or fail around 60-40. Right now, it does not look like it's going to hold. We've got all this sell volume that came in at the high. So probability is we lose 60-40. Next targets are 60-30 and 60-24. Now, these can fail. So we would need to see a move above 60-50 and 60-60 as the high. So, if we get volume tomorrow at the open, 60-70, even 60-88 on a really strong move higher. But for now, I'm sort of cautiously bearish. This is an overlapping channel with an overlapping channel. It's an overlapping channel. So there's been a lot of overlapping, a lot of consolidation. Yeah, big picture on this. This could easily drop back down to 6,000 again. So I'm cautious here. Expecting some range trading. Not really sure what's going to happen. But going to follow that. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Okay, so you can see this diagonal wedge, rising wedge that was happening here, and in this case, price is already falling off. You can see it came down to the 70% extension. So the NASDAQ has not actually come back up and tested the high yet. So that's interesting. That would be a good one to watch if you're trying to get a feel for which way it's going to go. There's still room for the NASDAQ to go back and test 21.3, or, fail and come back down to 20,020, which is, I think, where I think there's a range forming right here, based on this fib extension and pullback. So I'm just going to mark that. So there's the range. And it looks like it's testing the middle right now, right around 20,900, 20,800, something like that. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on that. If you run a fib on it going the other way, you'll notice that this had a really strong down move and a very choppy up move right up to almost the 79%. So roughly 70%, the 70.5% retracement zone is where it's falling off. There's sell volume coming in. Looks like the sell volume is outweighing the buy volume at the moment. So if this were to break here, it would possibly break to the downside back to 20,300. So I'm just going to be keeping my eye on that to see which way this goes in the morning. Okay, I think that about covers it. We didn't get any of the other guys in here. So hopefully we'll catch up with them tomorrow. If you got anything out of this video, hit the like button, give me a subscribe, and feel free to pass these along. I'm going to bring some drums in and take us out. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We will catch you next week, if not sooner. Trade safe. Keep it green. Cheers.